Hello, everybody, and welcome to this 31st episode of the Closures Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Mark Alvarado. And today, I have a very special guest. It's been a long time coming. For this. But before we get to my special guest, I got to just say, please follow us on Instagram at the Closures Podcast, on Facebook at Closures Podcast, and we have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe. It'd be awesome to have you as a subscriber on there. And yeah, without any further ado, we have a local, what is it? Local degenerate?
Local degenerate, Elias Garcia.
Elias Garcia. Yeah, there you go. There we go. So, you kind of do everything, huh? A little bit of everything.
Yeah, I got a lot of different hobbies that I like.
Do you?
Yeah.
Like what?
Well, my main one that I'm like the most invested in like right now is my comic book I'm making,
right.
The Cosmic Lore. Yeah, that's like the main thing I'm interested in right now, or I'm putting my efforts in. But yeah, I skate, I play music. I'm part of Valley Heights Collective, which is like
Heights Collective.
Yeah, it's like a group of like local dudes from Elk Grove and like Sac, and we're all kind of just trying to like band together, get like a repost page going, get like a presence in the scene. We have like our own music studio out in Sac rehearsals.
Oh, that's sick.
So we're like that's one of my projects. We got the music going, and then we got like the art with the Cosmic Lore. I'm trying to get like, you know, I'm trying to get back into skateboarding too.
Sick.
And, like do videos and stuff too, and yeah.
where do you usually skate around here?
I haven't been skating that much lately because I'm like old and creaky, but like,
yeah.
But I like mainline in Wackford. I haven't been. Yeah, right over here.
Super close. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't been skating nearly as much as I would like to, but I'm trying to get back into it for sure. Because like, yeah, that's my shit.
I like I've said on the podcast, I have a lot of friends who are skaters, but me personally, all I did was push. That's like all I did. I wasn't really any good, but I have a lot of respect for the art form because I really think it's art.
Oh, majorly, dude. And
yeah.
Then, like, I always like skateboarding because like it really is like there's always the question like, is skateboarding a sport or is it like a art or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it is more like an art. It's more like almost like dancing or something too.
Yeah.
So there's no rules. There's no winner. There's no points in a competition. There's points, but there's no points just in general. You know, there's no like game. And I always did like old school tricks and stuff too. So I learned how to like boneless and like Burt slide before I learned how to like
that's legit
kick flip and stuff. And like my first board was like an 80 Santa Cruz board and stuff.
Oh really?
And like I had to like share it with my brother. We would like take turns in the bowl. It was
that's hella cool.
Rob Roscott Santa Cruz.
Really?
That was my first board. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
I think also with like the skate, like with like the videos and stuff, like it that just displays the artistry of it.
Definitely, because I was like, you know, super like punk rock edgelord kid
really?
growing up, and so like I grew up on like Skateboard Gang and like Streets of Fire, all the old like Santa Cruz videos and the Pal Peralta ones, or Search for Animal Chin and stuff. All those old school ones, Speed Freaks too. Like that was my shit because like, you know, I was like, you know, I'm gonna be all punk rock with the old school board. I already have an old school board. I was like dressing like the old school skaters, long socks and bandanas and stuff. And
oh god, the bandana.
Yeah, those movies are so 80s too. Like it's cheesy, but like some of the stuff, man, like the old like Not As Coppus videos. I don't know if you ever like seen those. Like,
I've heard of them and never seen them.
He was like the dude who like first pulled off like it was like him and like Gonzalez, like Mark Gonzalez were like trying to do like the like down rail for the first time.
Oh really?
And like Nodis was the first dude to like pull it off.
Dang.
And so like him and Mark Gonzalez like the OG street skaters from like way back in the day and
stuff.
Stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you like the Nodis spin.
Yeah.
It's Nodis Coppus.
Oh,
invented
okay.
That, yeah.
Dang, you're a historian too. On top of that, shit.
That's right, actually. Too. God, I didn't even mention. Yeah, I just graduated too from Sac State. I'm a history major too.
Oh, you are a history
I'm a history major.
Wow,
too,
you actually were. I forgot.
I forgot about that too. Honestly, like
how was that experience?
It's cool. I mean, it was intense. Like it's my favorite subject. It's one of the most practical subjects in my opinion because you know it all comes back around and it's all about like, you know. Everybody thinks it's about dates and like, you know, facts and remembering like trivial stuff, but like it's more so about recognizing like patterns and like how things like come and like
trends,
you know, what like big events, you know, because things really play out over like, you know, even, you know, like look back in your lifetime, you know, big life, you know, like big like 9/11 or something.
Yeah,
I'm bringing up 9/11 on the podcast first time I'm coming. But you know, like big stuff, like it takes years to, you know, change. So it's like these things. It's all about watching like big, you know, movements over time and like ideologies and stuff. Because you know, it takes time to document that stuff.
Oh,
too.
Definitely.
And so it can be pretty intense though too, you know, because you're learning about some crazy stuff, man. And like like the last senior year, man, I was going like I had to. Well, first of all, I had like 4 upper division classes, senior level. You know, it was like a senior year and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were smashing through like a 400-page book like a week, like. So like we had, yeah, but it was cool. So it was like usually you either like presented or you like wrote about a book, and so like presenting's easy because I'm trying to be a teacher anyways.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so like and then like I said, yeah, I was in band and like I play music and stuff, so I don't have a problem with like public speaking.
Yeah,
but, like man, like the just jamming through the books that was tough because like they're dense, and then like you know it's just learning about some sad stuff too.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
some crazy,
super emotional
crazy
shit. Yeah,
and it's like man, you know, it was hard to like not to get like you know disparaged, you know, at some, you know, because then you're stressed out, you know, it's college, and then you're like, man, this book's depressing.
Yeah.
Like, but it's cool, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world, dude, especially because it's like, you know, I'm trying to be a teacher. I always said that, you know, that's gonna be my day job, and it's like all these other things going on right now. So it's like, you know, I think it's relevant too, you know. Like
definitely.
It's like right now too, like we're in the middle of some crazy history, and it's
dude,
like
for real.
We're gonna be talking about this, you know, for
a long time
coming. Yeah.
People are gonna look at this moment in history back on like how other people look at like the civil rights movement and stuff. I feel like maybe not to that degree, but in its own way, it's that relevant.
Well, and like one of the main things, I need to turn my vibrator, my phone off real quick.
You're good, dude.
But one of I almost said I need to turn the vibrator off.
I know.
Oh my God,
like,
Jesus Christ! Don't want to say that. All right. No, what I was gonna say too is like one of the things I learned too was that like about how it's like a lot of things with history. It's like it's not so much like, you know, set compartmentalized into like, oh, it was, you know, this, you know, happened here and here. It's more so like these things like, you know, are over longer period of times, you know, things we learned about in like high school as like a small section actually take place over, you know, almost like usually like 3 times as big as, you know, what we think they took place. So, you know, it's like the Vietnam War is like really, and if like it goes all the way back to like an extension of like World War I in a lot of ways too, you know. But it's like it's the way the dominoes fall.
Exactly.
You know?
That's all I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Everything kind of links into each other. Like you can go back to the Civil War and it can link to like the Cold War. Like all these little things. It's not just isolated incidents.
Well, it's like the Civil War too. One of my last classes was Civil War history, and man, like that was one of the craziest classes I took in my whole thing, especially because we learned about like all like the, you know, the political runners and like who was like coming in and out of office and like which states and who was on which side where and who acted like how, and it was like
that's crazy.
It was frustrating, you know, because you're like, God damn it, like, but
there's just so much to remember.
Yeah,
so much to learn.
It's a lot to remember. Then it's just like a really pivotal, you know, point in American history. But I read some cool books though, dude. And
like
being a history major, a lot of what are they called, monographs, where it's like so it's like, you know, one person kind of like doing like a thesis almost, and you know, so what they do, you know, they like select like a topic, and you know kind of like any essay, you know, like you just do like a thesis of it, you know. That's basically you know your standard essay format. That's what we do with history, but you know it's a book version and it's hundreds of pages long. But my last class, like the final seminar I took, was the historical development of race throughout modern history.
Wow.
So like
that sounds super interesting.
Yeah, basically I liked basically every book we read in that class because it really followed from like, you know, kind of like the Atlantic trade and to, you know, through like America to like the Atlantic world. So we read this. So one book started about like, you know, the Constitution and how like race was you know, super present in the development of the Constitution.
Right.
But then the next book was about like the Atlantic world and how like race was actually different in all these different pockets of the Atlantic world of, you know, like, and it was this family, and they were like traveling around, you know, like trying, you know, because and they were moving through all these significant events, like there was like the Haitian Revolution, the French Revolution, the American Revolution, you know, they all happened like,
and how race was like pertain to each one of those like events,
because what's to those events, like what caused those events, and then like when they would dip, it's like, why would they choose to go to like, you know, like one, like let's say this family had to split apart, one went to like France and one went to like the United States, and so it follows like what was their experience like in France and what was it like in the United States, and it's like that comparative history was wild because like it was totally different how like, you know, everybody was looking at stuff like back then, and you know, it was really crazy, and we took it all the way up to like we went through like, you know, like Native American, like you know, Native American history.
That's straight up deep, dude.
It's deep. It's crazy, and we even went up to like like the 60s and stuff. You know, like we read a book about Rosa Parks that was really, really good, and she's total badass. Like Rosa Parks,
definitely.
And it was cool. But yeah, that's so much content to think back on.
Dude, like that's insane. Just American history alone is just there's so much there, and it just connects to so many things. Like with that, what you just said, how like one family member would go to like France and the other. Like, what is one of the biggest differences that you guys studied?
I mean, it was mostly just about like, how everything gets like written into like the like how it officially goes down on the books is like what matters, and that was like what we studied basically, is how it went from like like what legal actions did they start taking, because it really is how all these different places carefully defined it, and there was just different things like property rights and like America and France, darker complexion people, African Americans and stuff, or Africans, French Africans, I don't know. They could own property and stuff over there.
Right.
And it was, a little bit more class based, but here in America, it was super duper like racialized from the second they wrote the Constitution and stuff. And they're like, it's a whole thing, and it's,
everything's just ingrained from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah. It's of course, the books explain it in way more intricacy than, I can.
Of course.
And it's all, at the end of the day, it's all, what's the word? Persuasive, So, if you choose to be like, actually, you can, but, I liked my major a lot.
That's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, why history though? Like specifically, was that what you wanted to get into from the beginning, or is that something that over time, you kind of figured out you wanted to do?
Well, it was always like my favorite subject for sure, like ancient history, and like I saw 300 before I was supposed to, so I was like, man. So ancient history was always awesome to me. I've always loved different cultures of the world and stuff, like, and that was like part of the appeal, and learning in high school about like Cold War, modern history. My history teachers were always the ones who were like, went out of the way to really connect with me, and that was really cool. And it was my history teachers and my English teachers. So I thought like, I'm gonna be like, when you're a kid, I don't know what I'm gonna do in my life really.
Yeah,
I just smacked the thing.
Oh no, you're fine, dude.
You don't really know what you're gonna do with your life really when you're a kid. But I was like, I could probably be a teacher though. And it was just just a small thought. And then as college went on, I took a couple of English classes, and I was like, "This is whack." So I took some, and then I started taking. I took like I always knew I was gonna do it, because I just started taking history classes right away before even when I was undeclared, and it was So I've always kind of leaned towards that,
towards history.
Yeah, towards history, and then just education too, because I just feel like that's more so. I don't know. There's something kind of. I don't know how to really explain like the appeal of it towards it, but it's like very like almost like being like a counselor or something too.
It's rewarding, right?
Yeah, it's rewarding, and it's like I want to be able to like because there was cool teachers and stuff that were there for me when I was a kid, so I want to be able to do pass that down, and pass like history, if you can get people to be interested in history, you can kind of shift the course of people's thinking, and I'm not saying I want to shift it either way, but I just want to get them interested in it, and like it can be really boring if you're a really boring person, but I don't think I'm that boring when it comes to history, so I think I'll be good at it.
Definitely, dude. You just like got me hella interested in a bunch of stuff I've never really thought about before, or at least since I've taken history classes like a couple years ago. I haven't thought about things like that since, but no, dude, I think people really do in general like history. I think the thing that kind of deters people from even like learning about it is because they think, if I take this class or I learn about this like in a class, I'm gonna have to memorize dates and things like that, where I think history is more about the stories themselves and like the lessons you learn from the stories. I don't know, I think that's why people get scared away from that.
Well, definitely. Well, because the thing is too is that there's a whole thing where it's like macro history and micro history, and it's like macro history are like the big scale, like wars and coups and political events, and like, but then there's like micro history is where it's like there's like documented events of like following like a family, like the one I was talking about, or like learning about like if, let's say it's like like Lewis and Clark, that's even like a micro history, because they're like going on a little mission, but it's well documented,
okay.
So it's like, there's tons of stories of like micro, histories that are just straight up like sound like they're ripped out of like action movies or something, man. Like there's some crazy stories like in the way, everything plays out. And you know, it really is the you know, it's about, you know, it's weird, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like convincing someone that they're gonna like a movie, but then they're like, I don't know, and then like you're watching it and they're like, I don't know if I'm feeling this right now, you know, and they're like, wait, it gets good, hold on, you know, and then like, I don't know, you know, it's just one of those things that
with stories, sticking with that, you write stories.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Has your experience in history and studying that influenced the stories that you have written?
Absolutely, like super yeah, like totally. When I'm writing for like mostly I've been like, my main project that I've been writing is the Cosmic Lore. Obviously I'm the writer and creator and artist right now, so like a lot of the influences I'm kind of built, it is like those big themes, you know, of like, you know, there's kind of like, you know, a little bit of like, there's like a little bit of like politics, there's like, you know, kind of like, there's a lot of like crazy stories from like, you know, the 19th century with like imperialism and how like, you know, all these, you know, significant, because a lot of the like significant historical figures that we know, you know, they're as kind of like, you know, crazy people from you know, the Stalins and the Lenins and the you know, the Mao Zedongs, the Ho Chi Minhs. It's like, when you know their full story, it really does, like, and I'm a nerd too, so I mean, this is how it helps me learn, but it's like, it feels like a supervillain origin story in real life, you know, because all these crazy big events are happening in their lives, traumatic things. Or even people, you know, like even, you know, positive people like, you know, like Malcolm X. Malcolm X had a crazy ass upbringing, you know, and it really, you know, you see him form into, you know, like the person he is, and, you know, he's like that by, you know, his past. And it's, you know, that's so for character like development, I really like to look to history, especially for like my villains. Like one of my like straight up, I kind of write these guys with that, like, you know, same level of like presence that are like inspired by a lot of different cool characters from history. Yeah,
that's so original. And like, I don't know, at least I think it's super original.
No, I think that, you know, it's like you gotta use, you know, all your different, you know, influences and stuff. And so like like one of the main stories that I'm writing, it's kind of like it's like one of the first stories I'm gonna be coming out with, because the way I'm kind of doing it's kind of weird, you know. There's like little segments, and then there's like kind of self-contained stories, but they're all kind of interconnected. It's a weird thing. It's in progress. But one of the stories I'm working on is like a real mix. It's kind of like inspired by like, you know, early, you know, imperialism and stuff. So there's like a crazy like, it's like a space imperialism, and it's like, it's, you know, it'd be a whole thing. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's like dystopian kind of imperialist. There's like a kind of like it's on some Avatar vibes almost.
Oh, really?
Like
That's cool.
Like kind of like shamanistic aliens. Yeah. But then like this like other crazy planet comes in and starts industrializing their planet hella hard, and they get like, you know, so it's kind of like that imperialism story. But then one of the characters, you know, lives in it, grows up in it. Because this is what would happen, you know, in history, you know, like their country get taken over, and, you know, these people grow up in these, you know, crazy conditions.
There's oppressive systems,
you know, grow up watching it, seeing it, understanding it, and then, you know, when they get old enough to do something about it, you know, the cold reality is when people had to do something about it, it got ugly, you know. So like, you know, part of what, you know, when you, like I said, when you look at it from, you know, these ways, I'm not saying that nobody's right, obviously,
of course, yeah.
But, you know, when you learn, you know, the upbringing and stuff, you know, and, you know, all these ways that things stack up, that's, you know, all that interconnection is what like really inspires my writing too, especially because it's like an interconnected comic book with the, you know, it's got some like fantasy lore and stuff. It's really on some knockoff like Lord of the Rings vibes. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's all over the place. Frankly, it's like I always kind of struggle to tell people. I'm like, oh, what's it about? I'm like, well, but like I guess like if I was to sum it up, I'd say like the whole thing is like it's like a space fantasy saga that like takes place over like different periods of time. So there's like ancient past with like gods and stuff, but then there's like distant future with like aliens and like DBZ type fools. And
that's
like,
cool.
And then it's like a smash up of each character's like kind of a different genre too. So there's like a horror, like a character who's kind of more like horror side of the world, and then there's like a character who's more like kung fu action. Then there's a dude who's like a street criminal, so it's like Boba Fett style. You know? And each one has like
a mercenary type.
Yeah, and each one has like kind of like different tones and like, you know, humor and like
that's cool.
level of gore gore. Like, you know, some of them, you know, like a villain one's gonna be way more violent than like the funny main characters, you know.
Yeah,
like,
and do those characters overlap, and do they show up in each other's stories, or not? Really?
Major League, Major League for sure. Like, everybody's fighting everybody. And, like, I'm trying, you know, obviously, you know, especially, you know, with all the MCU stuff, you know, the past 10 years, and Endgame just finishing. You know,
I think Endgame.
Yeah, dude, like.
So great.
So yeah, it was fire. I really liked it. What was I gonna say? Yeah, you know, but you know, with all that, you know, the interconnectivity, you know, that's obviously was a major influence on it, and then the comics too. I actually brought some of my comics.
Dang!
Yeah, I brought Days of Them, kind of too many.
Oh,
but
Earth X.
Yeah, Earth X. You read Earth X?
I've read like first couple pages of it.
Check it out, dude. Yeah, I was gonna say, bro, that is the book that got me like back into, because I like read like Silver Surfer as a kid and X-Men, Cable, you know, and I liked them. Set action figures like any kid. Yeah. But that one, I read that when I was like a sophomore, junior in high school, and Earth X, man, it just like. It sums up everything you might need to know, but gives it to you in like this Elseworld story with like a different future. And the different future it proposes is like crazy, and it just like takes this like it like just gradually increases in scale, till it's just like the ending just goes like bananas, and it's just like super cosmic, super trippy. It's like a reimagination of all the characters, you know, so it just kind of like, you know, introduces you anyway, and then it just flips the whole world on its head. Like,
oh my god, dude, this looks so amazing. Like, I remember reading, like, I think my high school, I went to Elk Grove High, and they had this
in the library.
In the library, I remember reading up to like, let me see, I'm trying to, because I remember there's this one panel specifically that I remember. I read up to here. And then I just got busy, and I forgot to return. Yeah, like. That shit.
It's a big book, bro. It's thick. It's like a straight novel. That one. No, that's I really like.
I can definitely see how that novel has influenced your stuff. Yeah, just from even the artwork itself.
Yeah, no, and that's all like definitely that like old school like trippy cosmic Marvel is like. That's my shit right there. Like here, like even like Silver Surfer.
Oh, Silver Surfer,
yeah. Like those are. This is like that was like his first like solo series.
When did this come out? When was this? This was like in the 80s, right?
Those in the that volume was in that series is in the 80s.
Volume 3, 80. 80 through 90.
83. Yeah. That's when they really started to get like super weird with it. There's like the Jack Kirby and like Stan Lee ones from like those like the originals, you know, like his first appearance and stuff. Right. But I like grew up with like more like the 90s cell shade version and like all super. It's so weird, like and spacey, but that was always my favorite character. Like
Silver Surfer.
Up. Yeah.
Yeah, Silver Surfer 6.
Such a badass.
So sick. I read the only comic book series I ever really could get through my senior year of high school. One of my friends, she lent me the David Aja, and I forgot the author's name, but the David Aja Hawkeye.
Oh, is it Matt Fraction?
Yeah, Matt Fraction.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
yeah, that's a good run on it. Yeah,
whew.
I haven't read that one, but I've heard like good things about it.
Oh, dude, you have to. Like, I'm probably gonna get it soon because I that's like my favorite. I'll definitely let you borrow it. You have to read it. It's so amazing. Like,
I've heard isn't it like on some like kind of like deconstruction, like indie vibes almost?
Oh, definitely. Like, yeah, it's totally just about like. It just takes like one whole part of the like series, or I don't know the terminology about comics.
But run.
The whole like one part of it is just about him living in this like apartment building that's getting like kind of like shaken down by like mobsters, and he just stops them. But it's just like he doesn't want to. It's like kind of like how like the last Wolverine movie, Logan. Yeah, it was like that where he's like really hesitant about using his abilities, but he does in the end to do good, and it's so awesome.
That's dope. Yeah, I want to check that. I've been wanting to check that one out for a while now.
Really?
Too. Man, I was just a story on the tip of my tongue I was gonna bring up that was like that. It's a DC story. Oh yeah, something that's kind of like that too. I've been dying to get it. I haven't had a chance to get it yet because the full like trade of the full run is like $70 or something. But it's Mr. Miracle. It's like which I have Jack Kirby, the New Gods right here. Ooh. By the way, this is some old school ass shit right there.
Super.
Yeah, that's the dude who did the art for Captain America. Thor, Fantastic Four,
Dang.
All that old original Marvel stuff.
And this is DC, right?
Yeah, he got booted from Marvel, and so he went to DC, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna just do my own thing." And then it was just bananas, and it was the New Gods, and that's another comic that's like a super big influence on mine, because it's like gods mixed with technology, and like they're coming back to Earth, and it's like they are the gods of myth and stuff.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like, but then at the same time, it's kind of like Star Wars, because they're like, intergalactic war between planets, and they're like evil father and good son. The good son has to fight him using the mystical power and stuff.
Yeah, this looks insane.
Dude, it's wild. There's actually a whole thing too about how George Lucas kind of bit the style off, because like Darkseid and Darkseid later becomes a big Superman villain.
Oh yeah.
But like Darkseid and Darth Vader have like such a similar design back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can tell.
Yeah, it's like the big helmet, that's rounded off.
Yeah, they do look similar for sure. I can see that. Wow. Yeah. Dude, yeah, you see, he's not just a historian in the traditional sense. He's a historian on many fronts: skateboarding, comics.
Mm-hmm. What I was gonna say though is, so that's Orion. That's the main character of like this run. But he had like another series that tied in together too. And see, this is where it comes into the influence, because he had like 3 different titles going at the same time. And the other protagonist was Mr. Miracle.
Oh, okay.
And so it's a different. It's like like a different character in the same world, but he has his own story and stuff.
Yeah.
But they recently did a new run on him, and they did like, kind of like, just like that Matt Fraction you're talking about with Hawkeye, they really like stripped back to the character, and it's kind of crazy because he grew up on like the evil planet, which is like Apocalypse, and he was ruled by like Darkseid was like the ruler of the planet and stuff. So he has like mad like PTSD, and so he came to Earth and he like fought with the Justice League and stuff. But then
that's crazy.
But now it's like he's kind of just trying to chill, but then he keeps getting Justice League bullshit, then he keeps getting Apocalypse bullshit, and like all the other stuff keeps like dragging him back into it. But it's so weird because it's this big like cosmic story, but at the same time it has like a weird like, indie movie vibe. Like a lot of it just takes place like in his apartment and stuff.
Wow.
It's really it's really dark, but it's really like good because it's really deep. It really goes into his psychology.
Oh, okay.
It's actually kind of crazy because like the story starts out with him surviving a suicide attempt. Like that's what the story starts out with. So it's like from there it just gets
that's
darker and crazy. Yeah, but it's like that was one of the most amazing runs. Like I was just like captivated by like it's one of those things where it's mostly dialogue. It's mostly dialogue driven. It's like all the actions done well in like 1 or 2 pages every now and then, but mostly dialogue. And man, that's so good. I can't even begin to like and the art's so good too.
Really? Who does the art?
I can look it up real quick. Let me see. What the fuck? Where did my phone go? Well, I guess I can't look it up real quick. There it is. Let me see.
With your comic, the Cosmic Lore, specifically, I know that people like to have be like super. I don't know what the term is. I guess just for lack of a better term, because I can't remember, but closed-minded when it comes to comics. So they're like either it's Marvel-centric, it's like they're trying to make a Marvel type of comic, or trying to make a DC type of comic. Like, what category does it really fall into, in your opinion? If you could,
I'm trying to make an image type of comic. I'm trying to make an image type of comic. Real talk though, because check these guys out. So there's like Saga right there, which is another really huge influence. It's like because I mean the thing is about the plots of all these stories. If I'm like intergalactic war, it all starts to sound the same after a while. But it's like the presentation, like Saga's super duper like.
What's this about?
Edgy. It's like kind of like Romeo and Juliet in space, but it kind of has like that feeling of like Game of Thrones or something, where you're watching just like a straight like TV epic ass like drama, And
this is wild.
It's really good. Like it's got like same thing, magic mixing with technology, mixing with kind of like modern attitudes and sensibilities. Like they talk normal and they cuss at each other, like they roast on each other. It's so crazy, and like it really is like Image comics are like they really are like the secret third option that like
you think so?
Yeah, because it's just like there's so much there for everyone, but it's not all one universe. It's not all the iconic characters. It's all like independent projects, And some of this stuff is, you know, like Headlopper too, right there. That's like violent adventure time, dude. I love that.
Really?
Comic. Yeah, it's
This
so
looks super
sick.
cool.
Yeah, and then like just like because this is where all the indie artists go, you know, in writers and stuff, and they can really kind of just let loose there too, because they don't give a fuck, dude. Image has been edgy since back in the day. Like they were the first company to like break away really from Marvel and DC and like do it in like a big way that really like made a brush against those companies.
Yeah. And Image Comics.
Mm-hmm.
When did they start? Do you know?
1992.
Wow.
Spawn is the first.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So Spawn's like the most like famous Image character.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of like their mascot and stuff. But nowadays they mostly do like independent projects from like smaller teams. And like that's definitely kind of the vibe I want to get on. Or like Black Mask is another small company too. This is literally the book that pushed me over the edge here, and I was like, all right, I'm making a goddamn comic book.
What's this called?
Space Riders.
Space Riders.
And that's by
Volume. I'm holding Volumen Uno. Volumen Uno.
And the main character's name Capitan Peligro.
Dedicated to Jack Kirby.
Yeah,
wow.
Boom. See, and
whoa.
Yeah, that is like because that's a 2-man team that did that whole thing there.
Really?
Yeah, and
Holy
it's
shit.
like they just went in, and it's kind of hard to, you know, because we're just all audio.
Yeah.
I'd love to do like a video sometime.
I
and
know.
shit, scan all because I got a scanner, man. We could scan all these in, just add it in post.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I would love that.
but yeah, I love that comic book because it's literally even like the pages are like meant to like they're like scanned in, like worn out.
Yeah.
See, they got like burn marks on them and little rips and stuff. And I just because
there's so much character here, just even within like the physical pages, not even like what's printed on them.
Yeah, it has like that texture to it.
Yeah,
it's like a heavy metal, like psychedelic, like
this,
drug trip, like
this. I'm looking at this page. I don't know the page number. I don't think there are page numbers.
I don't think there are either.
But I'm looking at a certain page. Hopefully, I can find it online, or I'll take a picture of it. But I'm looking at this. I'm looking at your shirt.
Oh yeah,
and I'm like,
you can see
the total influence. Like what? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, Major League. Alexis Zerrit is the name of the artist for that, and he's incredible, man. And they did another one too. So it's Fabio Rangel Jr. and Alexis Zerrit is the team who did that together.
Wow.
Where
are they from?
I think I want to say like Oceanside, like down Southern California, something like that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so these guys, Black Mask, are even smaller than Image, but they came out swinging like when they came out like a couple years ago.
Yeah,
they like won a couple awards and stuff for like, you know, indie comics. Like, and you can see here they came they came in hot. Like,
I could tell why. Like shit, just the art alone. Like honestly, they don't even have to put like words to these panels.
That's the thing too, is like the writing on it is like, you know, like simple, but it's like it's meant to be just like meta.
Yeah,
like, you know, like so they got volume 1, volume 2 of this too, and then they just announced volume 3, and it's the same artist coming back, but it's a different writer. But I'm pretty sure he's dope too. I forget what he was on as well, but
that's crazy.
It's another dope writer who's like done some crazy sci-fi stuff before too. And I'm excited to see where they go with like a different writer at the helm too, because I feel like they could get weird with it. Like,
oh, definitely.
Because it's already insane. Like,
yeah, it looks like it just from the look of it. Like when you're reading a comic book, are you a person? Because for me, I kind of look. What draws me in is the art first, and then the story comes after. For you, how does it go?
I mean, it's a combination of both. I have certain art styles that I am more like, you know, likely to, you know, kind of grab my attention. But I mean, you really start to pay attention to like, you know, the authors and stuff too. Like once you start to, you know, read more comics, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy did this for, you know, he did this for DC, he did this for. And it's kind of crazy because the writing really, like, the writers really do, like, affect, like, the art. Because, like, you know, they're writing the scenarios and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And like, you know, the way the panels are laid out. Or, like Jim Starlin here, like, this is the same dude who wrote the Infinity Gauntlet, actually.
Really?
Yeah, so this was one of his indie projects. He actually did that after the Infinity Gauntlet, because then he like got enough clout and enough like respect, you know, to kind of do whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
But
whoa, is it all black? Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, so it's like the first couple chapters are black and white.
Okay.
Oh, he hand drew all that too. That's all pencil and ink. Yeah.
Whoa.
Or I think it's like he penciled it and then maybe some other dudes inked it, but like
oh my god.
but it's like his panel layout too is even like similar to like, you know, in his other Marvel comics. So it's like you see how he's, you know, uses a lot of rows, a lot of like wide shots. Like, you know, it's just like the use of space on the page itself. It's really a lot to it. You know, there's like a lot of form and a lot of you know, it's like it's really like reading a book. You know, which way your eyes go. You know, it's all up to, you know, what the artist can do. So it's like, you know, looking for cool teams that work together when it comes to, you know, the series and stuff. Like I kind of pay attention to the names, but then, you know, the characters too. If I like the character a lot, I'll probably go for it. But I love stuff with like that level of writing too, because I kind of try and look. That's what I kind of try and look for too. Like me, I'll go digging for the deep cuts and like go looking for specific stuff. You know, like one of the things that like I'll say my new like one of the comics that really caught my eye most recently is they rebooted Green Lantern, but it has Grant Morrison as the writer, and he's like this super duper like all his books have this crazy like aura of like psychedelic existentialism in him, and he's always talking about like all kinds of weird shit like, yeah, I was a writer and like I've manifested reality with my writing, and like he's this weird crazy guy. He's kind of on the same page as like Alan Moore and like Neil Gaiman and all those all those British writers. Dude, Neil Gaiman's fire. I actually brought you some Neil Gaiman right here.
Really?
Books of Magic. And this is like
sick. I've read Neverwhere.
Neverwhere? Is it a book or is it like
it's a book?
Yeah. His books are really. I've been wanting to read American Gods by him. I hear it's dope.
Yeah.
But so Grant Morrison's one of you know those old school British writers, but now he's on Green Lantern, so we got this weird writer with this really weird character, and like, you know, he just like, and he was also like editor, Grant Morrison, he was editor for Heavy Metal magazine too now, so it's like he's writing Green Lantern with all the stuff from Heavy Metal magazine, and it's like, you know, all these things I like combined, and I'm all perfect, you know, like so it's like, you know, sometimes I'm like extremely excited, I'm like, bro, like I can't even wait for that to drop, like but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, I love.
No, dude, this is so sick. For everyone listening, like he brought a ton of like comics from his collection to like show me examples and stuff. Like this is insane. I just love the artwork. Like I can't help but to just like get lost in just the artistry itself, just like visually, because I know that there's a ton of art that goes into the stories. It's just so cool for me, like, to see the different, how the art and the stories kind of blend to make something totally new.
Yeah, like, and that's what I'm saying. I was like for me, it's not just that I like, you know, Marvel or DC. It's like I like the medium of comics. It is so cool what you could do, because like the way my buddy kind of described it, he was like, a picture says 1,000 words. Now if you add 10 more, you know you can you can do some real damage there. Like
and you can turn it into something totally new.
Something crazy.
Yeah. So with your current comic, do you have like, how does it work? Do you put it all online?
So right now, my main like plan that I've been doing, so basically I have like a bunch of like sample chapters in progress right now. They've been kind of in like development hell for a little while because coloring is very difficult. But I've been really like working on like a lot of like concept art lately on my Instagram at the Cosmic Lore Comics. We'll probably put that somewhere. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
So it's like right now what I'm doing is I'm kind of just clearing the cache, getting all my, you know, art pieces in project in order, in progress, in order, because I really am like almost done with all the stuff that like, you know, like, because you know how it is, like stuff just builds up you've been meaning to work on.
Yeah.
But so I'm finishing all these concept art pieces, and I'm gonna like put it all on the Instagram, but I'm trying to make like a little like website so I can kind of just compile it all in one location. You know, posts and captions and writing. And then so what I'm trying to do is clear all that stuff out, all the concept art, and then so when it starts in, you know, the new year, I'm gonna just put the pedal to the metal, finish those chapters up, those sample chapters, and then just keep going with like the different segment ideas I have, and like basically actually start, you know what I mean?
Okay,
like, because it's all been kind of like pre-production is what I've been saying, because like I've just been like, you know, writing the story and actually, you know, sketching fools up and doing little mini, you know, 5-page segments and stuff, like just getting practice. But the way I kind of plan on doing eventually is I'm gonna amass a ton of like web content, and then I'm gonna do some runs of like a collected like magazine kind of. So it's gonna be not just like a comic, but it's like a comic / art book / like it's gonna have some short stories in there.
That's sick.
And so it'd be like a 40-page little magazine.
Yeah.
And so it's like the Cosmic Lore magazine. Like
that's so tight. So I love that. And then since the world or the universe that it's set in is so vast, I mean, there's so many things you could do with it. You'll never run out of ideas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it'd be like, like the first, like one of the ways I've like, imagine compile it would be like, like concept art with some captions, and it's like, short story, and it's like, about a different character and stuff too. It just takes you on this wild ride, and then it's like by the end of it, it's like, it'll come back around, and you're like, oh crap, and it's like, if you've been following along, it's gonna all smack back around. But then I'm trying to write it too, though, so it's like you don't need to read everything. You can kind of jump in wherever, but if you do read everything, it's gonna be like even more like great. That's kind of like how I've been trying to like write it and kind of produce it, which has made it kind of hard, because it kind of be like, make it so that it's accessible whenever, but I'm still trying,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, because I want people to be able to just be like, what's that? That looks crazy. That looks cool. Like, and that's why I use like the bright colors and like that. That's the appeal of like like this guy and like the New Gods and stuff. Like all the old comics was the color and like
Oh yeah, definitely. I could definitely see the influence, like I've been saying. It's just
like with all of these. These are all like my favorites, like too.
Captain Marvel.
Oh, dude,
I thought Captain Marvel was a girl.
That's what I'm saying. That's the old school like Jim Starlin run. So this was even before they did Infinity Gauntlet. This is like the precursor. Like this is Thanos' first appearance. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and what's kind of crazy too. Spoilers for Endgame. Is Thanos' first appearance was in an Iron Man comic. And so, for Iron Man to be the one to beat Thanos, I was like, okay, all right, fam. I see y'all. I'm very poetic.
That's hella cool. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. And so, that's the thing, too, is Jim Starlin, Captain Marvel was this weird, back in the day, dude, that character's gone so far from what, like...
Oh, I can imagine.
Dude, so back in the day, it was like kind of like they're like, almost like their Superman knockoff in a way. And everybody, he was cool and he was around, but like, it wasn't really the most flashy character.
Right.
And so, they were like... well, we don't really know what to do with them, and then they let Jim Starlin, because he had done all this, all this other trippy sci-fi stuff I was showing you. They let him hop on the ropes for it, and they introduced Thanos, and they did like a whole story arc, and they like got like super psychedelic, and let him kind of just like take the reins with it. And then it's like from there, they let him do the same thing with like Adam Warlock, and then before you know, he's writing the Infinity Gauntlet and stuff, and like, but he's actually a really badass character, and it's just like. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, like how, I don't know. It's being the characters, because then it got passed down to like his sidekick.
Yeah.
And she was dope for a while, but then it's just like the way they've just written her into the ground. Honestly.
Really, you think so? How so?
In a lot of well, the thing is though is that it's like they changed the character entirely, because Carol Danvers was a character before as Miss Marvel for a long time, and then it's like when she turned to Captain Marvel, it was like this like. They just completely changed her personality, like entirely, like kind of out of nowhere too, and like I don't know, it's one of those things,
they didn't stay
it's like
true to like how she was before. There was no like continuity in a way.
Yeah, and then it's just like Marvel's starting to get it back because they like are kind of realizing that like they can't keep doing it, but it's like they just had a lot of bad writers for a while. Like it was just like cheap tactics, of like, and it's like. Captain Marvel was one of the characters that like suffered the most from that because it was like the writing just wasn't very three-dimensional. It was always kind of like the same stuff rehashed, or it was like kind of the same plot points too. And that wasn't just with her; it was just with Marvel for a minute for a while. They were just kind of like treading back kind of the same stuff, or like they're like, oh, that's not. Canon, this is canon now, and like lots of that kind of, retcons and stuff.
Especially once they got bought by like Disney and stuff.
Yeah, and it's like all the fans were kind of like, what the hell's going on here? But they've been getting really better with it, actually. Really? And like they brought back like Conan the Barbarian, which is like a fan favorite. But it's like not even like it's kind of crazy too, like because it's like violent and stuff too, and they haven't really been doing like violent comics in a while. But they brought back Conan, it was sick. They brought back a new Silver Surfer run.
Oh, really? I bet you were happy.
Oh, dude, I was fucking stoked, dude. I got it like every issue it came out like on the day of. It's dope because it's like this crazy like it's even crazy. I should have brought some of those. It's even crazier
Really?
than like anything here. Like
Dang.
it's because this artist Trad Moore is just insane, man. He like just uses like anatomy to like just like screw with your eyes, you know.
Oh,
and it's
really?
like super, because the whole plot of it is that Silver Surfer falls in a through a black hole and gets sucked back to like the beginning of time.
Oh,
so
dang.
like of course it's gonna be bananas, you know. It'd be insane with the visuals, and I really liked it because it showed off like the character in like the way he works best, when it's just weird as fuck and like he's, you know, out of his wits, and he's just got to like survive, because like when he has to survive, that's how you know it's bad. Like,
Oh, definitely.
yeah,
That's awesome, dude.
I hope the Captain Marvel bit isn't all controversial.
Oh,
or
come
nothing.
on. No, to anybody who thinks it's controversial, come on. How is it controversial? Stupid. No, it's just the truth. Like, when something sucks, something sucks. Like, it sucks.
And I'm like, you know, it's not that the character sucks, because the character doesn't suck. It's just the way the property's been handled.
Yeah.
Because I think that the character's badass, actually, because it's one of like I said, the original Captain Marvel fighting Thanos. This is one of my favorite comics like ever, you know. But it's like you gotta re-encapsulate that spirit of it, you know. And because I think, you know, the psychedelic element and like the cosmic element, you gotta lean more into that rather than like, I'm the strongest superhero on Earth. It's like, well, go fight someone in space, you know. Like that's kind of like that's, I don't know, that's my take. My red hot controversial take.
Dang. Whew. Yeah, it's
a little spicy.
Yeah, I'm wearing a long sleeve, dude. I don't know. I might have to roll up the sleeves real quick.
I want to dial it back a bit.
No, you're fine. But with the comics and everything, man, I had a question. I had a really good question. Fuck. I'm trying to think. No, because I had a. I'm trying to think.
Are you good? Take your time. There's the Adam Warlock one too. I was talking about. It's the same Jim Starlin, but it's like right in the same vein together.
Oh, yeah, that
like
makes
they're
a lot
like
of
super.
sense.
And this even continues the storyline from this one in a lot of ways.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in this one they beat Thanos and he gets like turned to stone. No, they beat him and he goes like missing in space, and then here they like pick it back up there, and it's like some other dude on like another quest, and it's like, what's up, fool? It's Thanos in the building, and you're like, oh my god, like it's like a whole it's like it's cool because it's like dramatic irony. The characters don't know who it is, but then you're like, oh fuck, like,
I remember my question. It was super fucking basic. That's why I couldn't remember.
Yeah, you're good.
So like, other than Silver Surfer, like, do you have any other like characters that you always gravitate towards?
There's a ton, man. There's like. Okay, so Silver Surfer, I like Green Lantern a lot. I like Spawn.
Oh yeah,
Devilman from Devilman. Shit, I'm just gonna start lifting stuff.
Go for it.
Swamp Thing.
Swamp
Thing's a good one if you want to check that.
Oh,
out.
hell
there. Swamp Thing's fucking dope. Wolverine, X-Men Wolverine.
Oh, Alan Moore did this?
Yeah, Alan Moore did that, dude. And those are one of my favorites too. I think those are in my top 5, honestly. And it's like those are like super existential horror, while at the same time being like campy horror, but at the same time being like sophisticatedly written horror. Like,
wow, it's like every type.
It's really good. It's really good.
It goes in all three directions.
It goes all kinds of crazy ways, because it's like starts as like a science fiction story, and then by the end it's like this like. He's like this weird like spiritual being, and like it's all about like looking intrinsically into like what it means to be alive and shit, and it's like if a plant can think, what would his thoughts look like?
Jesus
like it's crazy. And the art on that one's wild too. Yeah, Saga of the Swamp Thing is like a freaking classic.
This is crazy.
But so characters like that, exactly, you know, with that level of writing too, I kind of look for that. Like that's a big influence for one of my main characters in the cosmic lore.
Sophisticated suspense.
Yep, sophisticated suspense.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, it's a DC property. I didn't know.
Yeah, so it's Vertigo, which is like their like version of like Blacklist or like Marvel Max, where it's like for like written for adults. And you know, there's like blood and, you know, mature themes and drug use and like all kinds of stuff in these. So that's what makes them cool, though, because they're like the indie, you know, the dark indie movies of the time. Like, but I like, so I say Green Lantern, Silver Surfer, Doctor Strange.
Oh, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is a fucking badass. All the New Gods, like I said, you know, Jack Kirby New Gods.
Yeah.
like Dragon Ball Z is a big influence for sure. Trunks, I like Trunks a lot.
Trunks is the best. Dude.
Boo, I love thinking about like Boo when I'm thinking about like villains that just like go crazy with, you know, like
really?
Because I have a lot of like, I like to write like a lot of like villain versus villain fights.
Oh yeah,
because like those are always my favorite in comics, when it's like you finally get, because you know heroes hold back, villains don't, so when they fight it's always just like
too
savage, you know. And so I think of like, you know, like Boo, Frieza is, you know, like
Cell.
Cell
was always my favorite.
Yeah. Oh, I love Cell. Like all the Dragon Ball Z characters for sure, because there's like some of the characters specifically have like the aesthetic is very much so like not borrowed, but like influenced by, you know, they're flying around, they're shooting beams, they're throwing big giant like, you
boulders,
know,
and
throwing asteroids at each other.
Oops.
Frieza, Cell, Trunks, Green Lantern. I like. Oh, Hunter x Hunter, like Gon and Killua are both fucking dope. That whole show is just like, and then, cause then shows like that influence me, you know, like with like character arcs and, you know, like, you know, how like a plot develops over like a season, you know, and like how to write like a good antagonist and stuff like that.
Right.
Like Meruem too. I don't know if you've ever seen that show.
I've never seen that.
Oh, dude, it's really good. But even in Hunter x Hunter, like the main villain is such a homage to Frieza and Cell.
Oh, really?
He looks like the two of them combined.
Dang.
It's hilarious, but he's a really good written villain. Other characters, man. I could just go on.
I can.
like Tatsuo from Akira. You ever seen Akira?
Mm-mm.
Really? You never seen Akira, the movie?
No, I've never seen it. I should.
So crazy. Like it's like the movie's kind of like all over the place, but the manga is like amazing.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the movie's amazing too, but it is like it's kind of like a mind fuck. You know, like it gets really crazy by the end of it, and kind of like hops around like narratively. But he's really cool. They're like these like street biker gangs, and then they like get like involved with like a government like project, and there's like these crazy like telepathic kids, and like one of the main characters gets powers and stuff, and like I can't even describe it. It's all like so crazy. But Tatsuo is one of my favorite villains from that. What else? I'm trying to think. That's one of those questions where it's I know. That's one of the ones where it's like I know it all the time, but then if you ask me, I will forget.
That's all.
Like I said, Captain Marvel, Dr. Warlock,
all the ones here,
all the ones here, basically. Yeah. There's this crazy French artist from like the 70s who did these comics called Lone Sloan. The 7 Voyages of Lone Sloan is the name of like the first book.
Oh wow!
And it's by this fool named Philippe Drouillet, and I was almost gonna bring it, but I didn't because they're like kind of bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But this whole like it's like this crazy like sci-fi book. It's like before Star Wars, like in the 70s in France and stuff. And it's like this crazy like space adventure where this dude like crashes into like this mysterious artifact in space and like gets like these crazy like cosmic like sight. He can like see like everything and knows everything and is everywhere. He has like this crazy awareness, and he's like floating around on this like throne, the throne of the Black God. It's what it's called.
Dang, that sounds insane.
It's insane, dude. It's even more insane. Like the art is even more insane than like all of these, and like it was in like the 70s. But what's crazy too is that so like Lone Sloan, that comic is super influential too. But what's crazy is that like that whole scene like that this guy was part of comics of is like what like Star Wars was kind of inspired by too, but then also like what like the Fifth Element is like directly paying homage to, like this, like the whole aesthetic is like the Mobius and like heavy, like do you know what Heavy Metal is, the magazine? So it's like Heavy Metal magazine started here like a couple years after they already had it going in France, and it was called Metal Hurlant, and it was like it's called Heavy Metal, and it was like these like all the weird indie artists of the time that were doing like crazy comics and stuff. And, like that's so Lone Sloan. Long story short, Lone Sloan's a cool character. Dreadstar from this one right here. Dreadstar's dope.
Oh, Dreadstar. Yeah.
Shit. Like I said, that could be a whole other video on its own. Dante from Devil May Cry, because then we gotta go video games. You know, Kratos. Because I like that over the top action too. You know, like the anime fights, like you know, where it's just everything and everyone's getting annihilated. So like Kratos, Dante, Asura's Wrath. You ever play Asura's Wrath?
Never.
Oh my god, that game's another like Dragon Ball Z style, where it's like it's all like based on like South Asian and like Tibetan like mythology and stuff. So like that stuff goes crazy too.
Oh,
it's
I
like
can
it's
imagine,
like an anime in itself, man. But like, yeah, it just has like literally like an anime aesthetic. Everybody's got like spiky hair and they're all like robot gods. Like, dude. It's so cool.
That's crazy. So like, how did this start for you? Like, what was the first comic book you read? Do you remember?
First comic book I read. First one I read. Let me see if I actually remember the first one I read. Because I watched like cartoons and stuff, you know. The early ones I remember being around, like one of the first ones was like Batman versus Punisher.
Really?
My brother had it.
Batman versus
Punisher, yeah. That was one of the first earliest. I mean, that's one. I mean, I don't know if that was the first one I read, but that was like one of the first ones I remember being around.
Yeah.
Or another one too was like when there was like, I think it's like Secret Wars or something, and like Spider-Man has that weird ass like 8-arm like doppelganger that's walking around, and it's like still it's like in this like the sewers eating people and stuff.
Yeah,
I had like this crazy like hyper realistic action figure of that, and
really
it had the comic in the back. And my brother got mad at me because I opened it, and he wanted to keep it shut, and I opened it because I wanted to read the comic. It was good.
Yeah, that's funny because I have one like that, but for the Hulk.
Oh, for the Hulk?
Yeah. My mom, she's the biggest Hulk fan I know, and she bought it for me, but it was like, don't open it. And I was like 6, and I was like, God, I want to play with the action figure. So I like tried to open it, and she like stopped me and like spanked me. I was like, what are you doing? Stop. So I have it still in my closet, but it's just collecting dust, but half opened.
Okay, I got hella mad one time because my mom had a bunch of like original Dragon Ball Z action figures that my cousin gave them to me because he didn't want them no more, and he just had days and days of like them, and it was like a bunch of like old like Power Rangers shit from the 90s and like a bunch of old stuff he had, you know? And he's all, I can't keep it at the house, we're moving here. And so he gave me a box of all these action figures, and I was like, oh, sick. And then it's like, a week later or whatever, they're like, we're doing spring cleaning, we're cleaning the whole house, you know how it is, like everybody needs to throw something away. And then like in the hustle and bustle, the whole box got put in like to the car. They're like, I took a bunch of stuff to the Goodwill, and I was like, I was so devastated. But I lived. It's fine.
Oh my God, how much those would be worth today? Oh my God.
Well, it's like even the fact that there was just a lot of them, even if there was only like $5 each, it would have still been like a good like $100.
No, that's insane.
$130, like.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What do you think about the movie adaptations of like Marvel Comics and how DC's going? Like Joker, did you see that?
I liked Joker a lot. I really liked Joker. I think that was like a movie that like really wasn't afraid to just like be on the nose about stuff. Like, because it very much just said stuff like straight out in the movie. And I think that I don't know what the hell they're gonna do timeline wise. Everybody's like, that's the question on everybody's mind. I don't know I don't even know what I want timeline wise, but I thought that Joker was really, really just well constructed. Like in terms of like how the film set itself up, how the script paid itself off, like and, like the symbolism. Every frame had like a meaning to it. Yeah. One thing I really liked though that I don't think a lot of people know about the Joker is like Todd Phillips, the director. He actually did this documentary about Gigi Allen. Which I don't know.
Really? I know Gigi
Allen.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, he did Hated in a Nation, which is the documentary about Gigi Allen. Yeah. And one of the biggest like segments on there was when Gigi Allen would go on like a talk show. Like he was on like Jerry Springer and stuff. Yeah. And so watching Joker and seeing this, because he already did a story analyzing a mentally wild person, and like told us a story about sympathizing with him. So I was like, yo, he's gonna kill it with the Joker. Yeah. And it's like you can like I saw so much of that influence, know, and then that final scene. Oh, spoilers!
Oh yeah, it's been out already a month. If you haven't seen it, it's your fault. At this point.
The final scene where he's in like on the talk show, his mannerisms were just like Gigi Allen on the talk show. If you watch the old footage of it, it's really crazy. That's insane. And not just like, but it's like you could tell that was a big influence too. Having this like larger than life person just on your TV. Is like a big thing. And I don't know. I really liked that movie. I thought Joaquin was incredible.
He killed it.
He's one of my favorite actors of all time. Mine because there's that movie Her too.
Oh, dude, Her. Oh,
that movie's so good. That movie's like
fuck, bro. That movie is just like
10 out of 10. Pulls your heartstrings,
dude.
Hits you in the feels,
and it's just everything. Like the colors in it, the every angle, like just everything about it is just such a perfect. Like the dialogue. It's so 2000. Like it came out in 2014, I think. Mm-hmm. It's so 2014.
Well, it's like a full movie length episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
really is.
Yeah.
Like I love that movie because his acting was incredible on that movie too. Man.
Oh yeah,
like, and even too like like what I like about certain actors, if you follow the rules they follow, you can kind of tell like a bit about what they're like too, mm-hmm. and like you can tell like Joaquin's a little bit of like a like reclusive person,
yeah.
And like but like when he takes on these roles like Joker and her, you can tell he's like been through some shit, and that makes me like the performance more because you can feel like how real it is.
Yeah, he definitely pulls from his experiences,
mm-hmm.
which as I don't know if a lot of people know, but he's had a lot of things happen in his life.
He's had a crazy ass life.
With his brother passing away,
mm-hmm.
and River Phoenix. It's just crazy, and you see the emotion pour out of him in every performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite too. Even in like Walk the Line, like when he played Johnny Cash,
I love that movie.
Dude.
I love Johnny Cash. So that's one of my favorite artists. Like growing up, and as I was first starting to play music and stuff, I would just play along to a lot of Johnny Cash songs because they're easy on drums.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like. But like I love that movie so much, and I've actually been wanting to watch that movie again because of because Joker came out. And,
yeah. With Joker too, I know a lot of people are talking about a sequel, and there's
mm-hmm.
like actually like I don't know if it's confirmed, but
they said it's like possible. They're thinking about it. Maybe
it's like highly possible apparently.
Yeah.
What a rumor I've been hearing, and I've said this on another podcast where we kind of talked about, me and another guest like talked about the Joker specifically, but I'm curious as to what you think about the idea of like in the Joker at the very end, like the same social worker who is in throughout this entire movie, like is there at the end with him in that like psychiatry ward. And it's supposed to be Arkham, like asylum, and like he's like he does the whole thing where she's like, oh, I just thought of a joke. You wouldn't get it.
The whole last line,
and. If you notice the room that he's in and like the hall that he walks down, totally different from the hall in Arkham Hospital
earlier.
Yeah, that was earlier. So, like, a theory is that he projected himself in the past. Like he thought of everything, or he remembered everything, but he put himself from like 2000 or from 1994 back in like 81.
Right.
So he actually was like closer to 40.
Right.
In the movie,
there's a whole thing. They're basically they're like trying to make it fit basically.
Yeah.
I think
that works though.
I think it can definitely work in a lot of ways actually, because I mean, if you got retcon stuff, you got retcon stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like this movie made way too much money for them to not want to do a sequel.
Yeah.
I think that definitely the ending of the movie for sure was supposed to have that kind of feel like of like, this could be. Because I've heard that theory too, where it's like the whole movie is him remembering it, and him there is like him now. Yeah, that's like the whole like theory. I give some, I think the thing about this movie too though is that it's like every theory is kind of right too. It's kind of designed that way,
Yeah,
where it's
anything
like,
can be possible.
Anything, because it's like what I take away from like I have like a definitive take of like how I think that. Could like in regarding to the things that are left ambiguous, it's like to me, I think certain things like did happen, but other people might not think that. But we're both right. Is the thing?
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's what's awesome about this movie.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of like, I think they could definitely do a sequel. Like no question about it. Because I mean, it's left open. It's left in like the door's left wide open.
Yeah.
Because the way I kind of interpreted the ending too is that he got caught. And again, that time he's in there could be a completely different time from the first time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, from like when he gets caught, whenever
Yeah, like there could be another. He got released and then he got put back in there by Batman.
Or like he went out and did another rampage and now he got caught way later. You know, like it could be whatever.
Yeah,
but
there's a lot that could happen.
What would you want to see from a sequel though? That's what I've been asking people. I've been really like, because especially too like one thing I'm trying to do lately myself more is like. Kind of just for practice for writing and stuff too, like how would I handle a property, what would I do, like there was the new Terminator out right now. I'm like how would I was like how and you hear what people are saying about that, but I was like how would I write the Terminator, what would I do, but what do you think that they should do, what could or would question. Do for a sequel, Joker sequel?
I would not shy away from using Robert Pattinson in it just because he's going to have his own Batman movie. Why not have those two worlds collide because it's set in like 94, the Batman movie.
It's not that far after. Everybody's like, it's not going to line up. I'm like, dude, it could line up. It could line up perfectly,
especially
bro.
because Robert Pattinson could play, like, I don't know, like, you saw Bruce Wayne in The Joker, and then Robert Pattinson's Joker at the time, so let's say he looks about 7 in this movie, like Bruce Wayne in 94, so that's 81, he's 7 years old. So in 91 he's 17, so in 94 he's 21.
Yeah, no, I've said it, dude.
Sense.
You could totally work it. You could even say that kid was older. He could have been like 10, you know what I mean? Like, and then, you know, bump it up a couple years.
Yeah, he's like 25 or something.
25, 26. That's how old Batman is,
yeah.
You know, when he starts. And it's supposed to be a younger Batman. Have you seen or heard of The Lighthouse yet?
Oh, yeah. I want to see that movie. I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, me and my friends saw it opening night. And
really?
Holy fuck, dude. Like,
it's hella good.
Dude, okay, I'll say this too. I'm not worried about Robert Pattinson as Batman at all because he killed it in this movie,
really?
Bro. He was in, like, the level of acting from both, because it really is just, it's a two-man show. It's Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson just going crazy on an island. Like, and man, they just, the wide range of like emotions that like gets conveyed in that movie, and it's just so weird and artsy. Like, it's such a mind fuck, and that movie doesn't care if it makes you uncomfortable or not. It wants you to be so uncomfortable. Like,
and that's what I like in movies. Like Midsummer, I've said it before. Like, dude, Midsummer, a lot of people didn't like that movie because it made them uncomfortable, but that's why I like it. Like, of course, no one likes to be uncomfortable, but when that's the goal of the movie, then that's a good movie because it succeeded in what it was trying to do. So
I've been wanting to watch Midsummer so bad. Dude, I just watched because I'd watched like a breakdown video of it, but I just watched Hereditary all the way through for the first time,
dude,
bro.
Oh, Hereditary is insane.
So good, dude. I already had like everything spoiled for me already, but still watching it, it was still shocking, still chilling, man.
It's just so like, weird.
It's like, too real too, because it's like all the family tension. Yeah, and I'm just all like, oh my god, like I'm like, that's just like hitting too close, man. Yeah. You know, because that's like it's kind of like, you know, like with Stephen King, it's where it's all, you know, what's really scary, coming of age and everybody hating you.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, I love that shit though. Yeah. You know, when the horror reflects, the external horror reflects like the intrinsic conflict. Yeah. You know, that's good writing, and that movie's got really good writing. And I really want to check out Midsommar too. Midsommar, however you pronounce it.
Midsommar. Yeah. Either way, what I really liked about Hereditary is it's one of those horror movies where, like, because some horror movies do really well in the theater, and then you watch it at home and you're like, it's just not the same. Yeah. And then there's some that are opposite, where it's like, okay, like, you know, I watched it in the theater, it didn't really work, but at home, when you're in your home and it's dark, you're like, oh, what the fuck. Hereditary, it works both ways.
Oh, dude, I could not imagine being in a movie theater and like having like not seen Hereditary. Like, if I saw Hereditary in the movie theater, it would have fucked me up, bro. Like,
dude, it fucked me up.
Because I remember I watched it at home. Like, I watched it on my computer. Like, the first time I started trying to watch it, I made like 20 minutes in, I got tired and like fell asleep. Yeah. So I was like, you know, oh, like, what's this movie even? What even is this movie? Right. And then like when it just gets crazy, it just gets like, you know, 0 to 100 instantly. Dude. Like,
after the poll.
the infamous poll scene. That's like gonna be like one of the top like shocking horror moments of like this decade for sure. That's one of the best horror movies of this decade for sure.
I agree.
I agree. I love horror movies.
Me too.
Have you ever heard of Mandy?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Dude, it's crazy. It's got like Nicolas Cage, and it's like the 80s. And so he's like living in the woods with his like spooky goth girlfriend, and then this like weird cult. They like run into this weird cult, and like, I don't know, the cult makes a deal with these like weird demons, and then they like kidnap Nicolas Cage and his girlfriend and like torture him, and then they like kill his girlfriend. So he like just goes on this crazy like bloodthirsty rampage after. What the fuck? But it's like a psychedelic, like heavy metal, like it's hecka like, you know, like heavy metal, like the movie or like the magazine. Like, it's like you know, it has like King Crimson in the intro and stuff. Dang, like, that's crazy. It's a really good movie. It gets really like weird and like not like we're talking about like non-linear storytelling, visual storytelling, you know, where it's all like kind of things are just happening and you kind of have to piece it together yourself. But it's really good. Like, I love it. It's like, especially, you know, we're talking about cosmic stuff. We're talking about psychedelic stuff, horror. Yeah, Nicolas Cage. Yeah. Like, Yeah, so those guys, dude, we just watched that for Halloween. So I've
been really?
Yeah, I've been on one.
I watched Scooby Doo 2.
Hey, that's iconic, man. That's
on Halloween.
That's a classic too. I remember actually because me and my ex-girlfriend, we watched the first Scooby Doo, and I remember I was like the opening sequence, and I was like, this looks just like a Scooby Doo like cartoon though. I was like, it kind of did a good job in that sense. Like, but
God, dude, it's just funny. Like, I don't know. It's just funny how like movies like going from Hereditary all the way to Scooby Doo to like, you could say what you want about the two movies, which one's better, which one's not. We all know, but at the end of the day, it's good to know that you can have fun with really anything. Like, like dude, you don't have to like, I don't know. Some people get caught up. I used to get caught up in like the whole like, well, this, I don't know if this really would work for me, or this is good because it's not like acclaimed at all or something.
No.
Whereas I hold this other thing up and I'm like, oh, well, this actually got awards and smart people like it, so it's better. Like, it's so subjective.
I like bad stuff. I'll just say it. You know what I mean? I was like, because it's something being good is different than me liking it. You know what I mean? Like, I always tell people that, like, for sure, I'll like, because even like, like in movie series, like, oh, which one's the best? I'm like, well, I think this one's the best, but this one's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Like that kind of thing. And it's I don't like. I mean, I have such a wide range of things I like. From like, cartoons. Like, I was literally watching like Hey Arnold on Hulu the other day. And then
I haven't seen that show in so long.
Dude, it's a classic. Honestly, we went on a trip to Fort Bragg a while back.
Oh, nice.
And like they just had cable there. They didn't have any internet, but they had cable. So we were watching like Nick at 90s Nick or whatever, and we're all like stoned watching Hey Arnold. And we're just fucking dying too, because I mean, because like the back of your hand, it all comes back to you. But you're just like, oh shit, like like,
dude, those old 90s shows. I always loved Rugrats.
Oh, dude, Rugrats is a trip, honestly.
All the innuendos in that show, you never even realize
it's kind of ridiculous, dude. Like, we're talking about that show, and we're just like, bro, that show's just like a weird like fever dream, and you're a baby at the same time. Like, it's like what the fuck is going on? It's a classic though.
Oh, definitely. And even like, a lot of, I don't know, early SpongeBob for me.
Oh, still, that's iconic, bro. I mean, literally at my last job, we were like, chocolate. like
where'd you work?
In-N-Out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which one?
The one in Elk Grove, the Elk Grove one.
Oh, really? You worked there? Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
I actually just left, but
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dang, you probably have seen me there then, because I go there
probably,
all the
I'm pretty sure I probably have, dude. Yeah, I probably have for sure, man. I was working all the time there.
That's sick, though. But yeah, I can imagine chocolate. Every time somebody wants a chocolate shake.
Yeah, yep.
Just
exactly.
from the other side of the restaurant. That's hella funny. So, like, with music, specifically, shifting gears a little bit. You said earlier you play drums. Yeah. Do you play anything else?
So I play drums. I play a little bit of like keyboard, more so just to like write my own stuff. Like, I mean, I just have like a little Casio, and I just peck around on it to like make up little melodies and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back more into like, because I have like a laptop, but it's like a small one, so like I forget to even use it sometimes.
Right, yeah.
But I have like Ableton 10 on there. I have like Paint Tool Size, so I've been trying to do like more. Trying to be on my computer more, and I was doing that with like digital, like editing for like my art and stuff. But I'm trying to get more into like beat making, because I have like a little bit of like basic skills on like Ableton, but like my buddies Chris and Robert, they are like really, really good, and like I'm trying to just get my chops back up so I can start to like make my own beats, and then like because what would happen, basically how I do it like with my friends is like I'll make a little oh, how does this sound, I'll like play something, play a little riff. And then, we'll like throw it in the computer, and then like, my other friends, who are way better at like sound design and composition and stuff, they'll come in, clean it up, and then, it'll get to like a better place, and then I'll like try and write to it too. I'm trying to rap to it.
Okay.
But
you rap too?
Yeah, I rap too.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dang, how long have you been doing that for?
I've been rapping since I was in 8th grade.
Oh, nice.
Since I was 13, and like there's like waves where I come and go of doing it. I haven't been doing it lately, just because like the past like 3 months were just insane.
Oh, I can imagine.
And it's like I just didn't have time to like play music that much, but I'm really trying to get back into it, because I have a lot of music compiled. Me and my friends have a lot of stuff like all backed up, but it's all just like fine tuning and like making sure it's actually good. And at first I was kind of like, for a while I was kind of like, oh, I need to drop something, but I'm all it's more so like I'll just drop something good.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. You don't have to
drop
force
something
it.
good, you know, instead of, you know, because sometimes, you know, especially because I be trying to make like really like weird stuff. Like,
Really?
Like I do one of my like styles that I like to make is kind of like, you know, like kind of G-funk sounding. You know,
okay.
Kind of funk. That's normal, you know. But then I also, at the same time, we're making like weird like techno house rap with like boots and cats and like synthesizers boots going crazy cats, and like with the old school flow, you know, like, you know. And so it's like just a matter of fine tuning because everything is like 60-75% of the way done, you know what I mean, where it's like, like this one's like halfway done, this one's almost done, this one's like a quarter way done, but I have like the idea for like basically like one's like a double EP and then there's one that's like an EP basically, so one's like 2 like 4-song things and then one's like another like 6-song thing.
Sick.
So like I got ideas for stuff working on it. It's just a matter of like, you know, it really is a juggling act, you know. I picked up 2 jobs for the holiday season.
Totally understand.
And, you know, working on comics and reading comics.
Yeah.
I have more time, though. My schedule cleared up, and I'm trying to, like, go in.
Yeah.
Trying to go, you know, come back in hot and stuff.
Dude,
that's why I'm glad to, you know, make it on here finally. You know?
Finally, man. I'm glad you're able to make it on,
stoked,
dude.
Man, next time we'll do a little. See, you got the little MIDI keyboard there, bro. Do a live set, bro.
Dude, for sure.
I'd be so down.
I would love to. I've never done live music on the pod, but that definitely is. I'm trying to do that before season 1 concludes in December. So.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta come by our studio sometime too. And
dude,
meet all the guys, dude.
I would love to.
Because straight up, like you could come check out the space too, dude. We're trying to get it set up to do shit like this. Too,
really?
You know?
Oh, it's tight. Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
I would love to come out and meet everybody. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. That'd be fucking sweet.
Yeah. Do you other than rap, do you sing or anything like that?
I mean, I do vocals, so like, you know, I'll rap, you know, but then sometimes I'm doing kind of just like sublimey kind of sounding, like, you know, or like, you know, if it's like a kind of like punk ska jam, like pick it up, like,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's hella cool.
So I do that, and then drums and vocals are the main things that I play.
Do you perform anywhere or not really?
Not yet. I really want to, and I've been trying to because I just want to get my songs like tight knit, you know. Because
I feel it.
I like to think I'm pretty good, but it's like, you know, I want to have it like locked down and like. And you know, I just get so nervous too when it's like, you know, open mic, but I'm all like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go up and like nonsense for a bit. I guess. I'm all like, I don't know, I'd rather have at least like, you know, like a written song so I can like, I'm not just like, yeah, you know, like, you know, in front of a bunch of people. Like. Yeah,
I've never done an open mic thing before. I've been invited, but that's just not really my thing. I like to know that the people that I'm playing to want to hear what I have to.
Yeah,
what I have to do. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just me personally.
I feel it for sure.
But for like rap, that definitely works because people are looking always for something new. Just depending on the genre.
Yeah.
Do you mainly listen to like hip hop and stuff like that? Or?
I listen to a bunch of stuff, different stuff. I love hip hop though. I mean, yeah, like you know, obviously, like, I mean, geez, I don't even know where to start. You know, all the classics. You know, G-Funk era. That's one of my biggest influence.
Outkast is a big thing on the podcast.
Oh, I love Outkast so much, man. Outkast is in top 10, top 5 probably. Like Andre 3000 is probably my favorite rapper.
Really?
I think so. In terms of like, he's who I consider to be one of the best rappers of all time in terms of like flow, personality, word vocab, you know, like amount of like syllables. You know, and, like because he like does like such weird like slant rhymes, and like internal rhymes to like, you know, like have like weird rhyme structures and stuff. Him and Big Boy too, they're like just as good as each other. Like I feel like everybody forgets that like Big Boy's just as dope too, but they're like neck and neck.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the
definitely.
whole time. I love them.
Definitely.
Outkast. I love Outkast so much, man.
Outkast is awesome. I listen to a lot of Wu-Tang Clan too.
Oh, I love Wu-Tang's good too. I mostly just listen to like 36 Chambers, you know.
That's
36
Chambers.
You know, the classic.
Fuck, dude. Yeah. Awesome.
Shit. Beastie Boys, I love all. I mean,
dude,
like,
Beastie Boys is so
like,
great.
Ever since I was like 4, like, I love Beastie Boys. That was my shit, dude. Shit. Oh, let me look. Let me see.
There you go.
Let me see. I'll pull up my Spotify. I know that Cone Linguists is they're like a rap duo, but one of their albums called Strange Universe, I think. I fucking love that album. That album's really, really good. Rage Against the Machine. I love Rage Against the Machine. Oh, Anderson .Paak too.
Really? You like him?
I love Anderson .Paak, man. I got Ventura, Oxnard, and Malibu all on my Spotify.
Oh, that's
here.
cool.
Yeah. My homies are in a group called Antimatter on Spotify, and dude, they are.
I've heard. That sounds super familiar.
They're from like Long Beach.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard that.
They're actually originally from around here.
Okay.
And then so they were like from around here, and then they moved out to Long Beach. But yeah, Antimatter. Those are my homies. They're fucking tight, dude. And like for like being like guys who are like they're like younger than you and me.
Oh really?
Yeah, but their production just sounds like on point, man. I can't even. But Black Delicious. I like Brockhampton. I've been trying to get into like newer people more. Like just because I'm such an old head, you know. Like,
yeah, you're trying to get into.
Yeah, so like I was listening to like Brockhampton and Oliver Tree.
Really?
Like,
I saw Oliver Tree in Las Vegas in September.
How was he?
He was funny, dude. He's just like a goof up there. Like he was in a wheelchair, just rolling around.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's a goof.
Have you ever heard of Caravan Palace?
That sounds super familiar too, but I don't think I've heard their music before. Maybe I have, I just don't.
They did this one song, like their biggest song. The music video is like they're like a bunch of like animal people, and they're like fighting in a strip club, and it's like animated all trippy.
No, I haven't.
You never heard that?
I'm pretty sure I remember that.
Dude, they're crazy, but they're like electro house mixed with like swing and like jazz. And they're French too, so then there's like an element of like French like folk music almost too. Super weird, but they are super dope. I love them so much, and I just saw them in concert in Oakland like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
And it was crazy, dude. Like it was just like normally shows too. Like if I go to the Bay, like they're not too popping that often, like indie shows and stuff. But like the house was straight, just like everybody was like it was like a rave in there in like a normal concert venue, man. So
dude, sick.
They had it bumping. So damn. Caravan Palace is one.
Caravan Palace.
Yeah. Death Grips. I like Death Grips.
Oh, dude, Sacktown icons.
Yeah, I saw them at TBD too
really?
When they were here, and it was like in the middle of like a big dirt field. And dude, that was one of the most kick-ass like performances I've ever seen. Like there was like a mosh pit, and like it was wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, they're dope.
Let's see. So before we go, because we're actually
believe
it or not, we're at 80 minutes.
Ooh, goodness gracious!
Yeah, so
goes by quick.
I do want to get we're gonna get some recommendations from you.
Yeah,
since you know a lot about things. I would say, of course. So what is a good starter comic book for the people to kind of wrap their head around that you would recommend?
It's so hard. There's so many. I'd say go with like if you're gonna if you want to check out something more indie, I would say go to check out Image Comics, and because any of their first issues or their first trade paperbacks, they have like a specific thing, like so people could try it out. So it's like the first trade paperback is always gonna be $10.
Oh, okay.
And like the first issue of like older comics are like $1.
Oh,
so
wow.
if you want to get into like some cool indie stuff, I'd say check out Image, because they have like literally something for everybody. They have like neo noir, they got like horror, they got like funny comics, they got like more kid friendly stuff even too. More teenager oriented stuff. They're really cool. If you want to just go for a if you want to check out Marvel stuff, I'd say check out on like Amazon or at a bookstore. They have like the Marvel Epic Collections, and each one's kind of like volume contained enough, like they isolate it enough to where you don't need to really know everything about the character. You can just pick up one of these and jump right in.
Right.
And plus these are like worth the money, because they're like usually get like 12 issues in there.
Oh, wow.
So instead of having to hunt for the whole arc on single, you can get the whole just fat stack of the Epic Collection for like $40. That's like the best advice I have, is like to go for trade paperbacks rather than singles, because like it just gets kind of hard, like with the single
you can
issues,
lose
you can
all
lose
of them.
You gotta track them down. I'd say it's so hard for me to tell people like a place where to start.
Yeah, because everyone's journey is different. I totally understand,
especially too because I jumped right in with this crazy ass
with
book.
Earth X.
Yeah, with Earth X, which Earth X is a good jumping off point too, because it really does break down everything. But Marvel's got tons of things where it's like this character season 1, Epic Collection, DC too. They have like the omnibus and stuff. And I'd say just look for a character you like. Look for like the trade paperback volume 1 and just jump right in. Honestly,
nice. That's good advice. And then before we go, one last thing. Also, what have you been listening to recently that maybe you think deserves a lot more listens from everybody else, a larger audience? I will also give a recommendation. as well, but I would like for you to go first.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the group Knower should be getting a lot of attention. Knower. So Knower. They're like an indie electro kind of pop funk group. I don't know. All the music I listen to is like such a combination of different genres. You have to just listen to it. But they have this album called, let me pull it up.
Is it Life?
Life. Yeah, Life by Knower. Life by Knower is really good. Redline by Laserhawk is all this stuff's gonna be really like sci-fi, because that's what I've been listening to lately, like a lot of electro. Deep by Mark Lidieri is like a funk album, and so he's playing on like a baritone guitar, like a 7-string baritone guitar, and so it's really just like muddy and like almost like it's like rock, but I mean it is rock, but it's like rock funk. So I don't know, it's
that's interesting.
Thing. But yeah, it's all instrumental by Mark Lidieri, who's like the guitarist for Snarky Puppy.
Oh, dude, Snarky Puppy's awesome.
Yeah, Snarky Puppy's dope. I love Run the Jewels 3. That's always one of me.
Run the Jewels, yeah.
Yeah, Run the Jewels 3 is one of my favorite albums. Savoy Self Predator is cool for some like weird ass, like, you know, like I said, electronic music.
Yeah.
What else? Let's see. Dang. Yeah, I'm listening to mostly just weird stuff right now. But I'd say Knower, Caravan Palace, you know, all the guys I talk to mostly. Also Elliot Lip, Shark Wolf Rabbit Snake, I think is the name of the album. That's a really cool album too, and I can't even really, you know, like I say, I don't do justice to try and describe these genres. But, yeah, Elliot Lip, Shark Wolf Rabbit Snake is the name of the EP, and the name of the album, and I really like that album. That's been like my art inspiration lately.
Oh shit!
But
nice. I'll definitely check those out.
Like I said, I can't even, you know, that's such a big question.
No, I definitely understand. So my recommendations, let me see. I've been listening to the album Anymore by the band Gleamer. It's a classic if you're into like dreamy poppy stuff, dream pop rock, indie rock, whatever. Love that their use of reverb on their guitars and just their effects on guitars in general, and the mixing on the album is just really, really good, really inspirational, and one of the inspirations for my next album that I'm trying to release, hopefully in a couple years. We'll see whenever it comes out, but that's one I've been listening to, Anymore by Gleamer. Second one is the album, let me see, where is it? I just lost it. No. It's an EP that just came out a couple weeks ago by Great Grandpa, the band Great Grandpa. It's called Bloom. Really fucking good EP.
It's an amazing band name.
Yeah. 3 songs. That's all it is. It's 3 songs. But they all just hit. They're just fucking bangers, dude. They're so good. This band's been around for a minute, too. I think they're signed to Run for Cover Records, but they're awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and then last recommendation, one of my favorite duos of all time, Have a Nice Life, signed to San Francisco's own Flenser Records, just dropped their first album in 5 years, called Sea of Worry. And they're kind of like doomy, dark, synthy slash like gothic slash indie duo, and they make some really, really cool, intense, textured stuff, and super inspiring, and it's a great album. I just listened to that today on my ride home from work, and I highly recommend it too. Sea of Worry by Have a Nice Life. Really awesome album.
Hell yeah.
So those are my 3. Elias Garcia, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, dude. I'm stoked.
You'll definitely be on again. Hopefully.
Yeah, hell yeah.
If not before season 1 ends, definitely for season 2. But I have a feeling you'll be on for maybe a closing out the week or something.
Yeah, I'm down,
when another crazy movie comes out or something.
Oh, dude, I'm so down. We could do crazy movie reviews, bro. I'm so down.
Definitely, man. Well, without any further ado, we will bid you an adieu. Please follow us on Instagram at The Closures Podcast, on Facebook at Closures Podcast, and on YouTube we have I just fucked that up. On YouTube we have a YouTube channel. Please subscribe. It helps out the channel if you do that. Next week we got Chrissy from Bliss City will be back on the show. Long awaited return. She hasn't been on with since July when we recorded. She's not going to be with any of the crew, but she will be here to talk about I'm pretty sure music, some emo stuff, her art. We're going to catch up with Chrissy. She was a fan favorite. A lot of people liked listening to Chrissy. We're going to talk to Chrissy from Bliss City next week, and we will also hit you with closing out the week, and we'll see who will be on with that. So yeah, have a great rest of your week. Take care.